LA County is in a panic state. It began 2 days ago with the Palisades fire. You were out of the country at the time. Shortly after the fire started, a press release was put out warning of this fire behavior. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that that was an opportunity for me. I am super inspired.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. She's quick to point out that doing so has a greater purpose, attracting the best and brightest for the job.
They feel included, they feel valued, and they feel part of a cohesive team.
A few moments later.
And this is what you get when you hire our leaders based on skin color, sexual preference, and all the other DEI fulfillments. You get utter incompetence. You get somebody who is not able to perform when it matters most. And this is what I cannot stand about the woke and all of this diversity, equity, inclusion. Personally, I don't call it DEI, I call it DIE. That's what you should really call it, right? Because I've been saying for years that these initiatives always end up costing people their lives. They always put people's lives in danger. It puts you at risk. Why? Because you don't have the best people out there doing their jobs, right? You have people who are, again, being hired not for merit or for qualifications, but for something that they can't even control, right? It's like genetically they can't control the color of their skin or anything else, you know. So yeah, if you're in LA, right, enjoy the campfire we have going on right now that we cannot put out because of just utter stupidity and lack of preparation, lack of leadership. The mayor wasn't even around when this fire broke out. She was in another country celebrating some other country's inauguration, which I'm not even surprised because that's typically what the left does. They celebrate other countries except for their own. You know, they typically do not hate their own country. I mean, it's just so blatant these days. It's just so obvious, man. And it's really frustrating because of all of the people that are displaced right now in LA, all the people that are needing help, all the poor animals that are roaming the streets. Geez, man. Yeah. You know, and this is what happens when you have somebody at the top who doesn't know what they're doing because they were placed there. They weren't, you know, they didn't earn that position. They were placed there because of something they possess genetically, right? The right skin color, the right, you know, I'm part of this LGBTQR group. But that doesn't save lives, okay? That's not gonna keep people alive. As a matter of fact, it's gonna cost people their lives. I'm trying to get some more light out here. And fortunately, by the way, I am over in the valley, so all I'm seeing right now is smoke, and this is pretty typical, by the way. For people who live in LA, you know that we get wildfires at least once a year, right? You'll see smoke even for where I am out in the valley where it's pretty safe. I'm over by Sherman Oaks and Studio City, which is right over the hill from Hollywood, and there was a house that just burned down yesterday in Studio City. which was a little alarming because I'm right next door in Sherman Oaks, right? So hopefully, we're able to get this under control. But that's another thing, is I do not see the leaders, taking action here. I see neighbors helping neighbors. I see us, basically helping each other to try to get each other to safety. It's Newsom's not really out there. He's just doing like press conferences, and the same thing with these other leaders. They're just, it's just really frustrating because you have people in there that that could have been prepared, and they're not. I mean, I don't think they could have really prevented this entire wildfire from spreading, but they could have at least had it contained to the point where it did not spread, and now it's spread, pretty much throughout LA. It's burning down homes. It's burning down, it burned down the Pacific Palisades. It's crazy. Pacific Palisades is really nice, by the way. And, you have actors like James Woods, who lives out there, and he was talking about how he had to save his 96-year-old neighbor. He was telling some of the other people in the fire department that, hey, my neighbor's in there, 96 years old, can't move. And they were like, no, we'll get him. And he just he just had to take matters in his own hands and get his neighbor out himself. Otherwise, his neighbor might have been stuck there. And, fortunately, he was able to get him out, thank God. And, but you have to ask yourself, why are we doing this job, right? In California, we pay the highest taxes in the entire country. We get taxed upon tax upon tax. We pay the highest gas prices, right? Everything here is exorbitantly expensive. If you come to California, everything costs a lot more than it does in any other part of the country that you will find. Yet, we don't have enough resources, right? We don't have enough water. These are things that are just utterly unacceptable, But again, what do you expect when you have people in office that did not earn that position but were placed there, right? To fulfill some quota that the government gave, to fulfill some narrative so people could pat themselves on the back and, good virtue signaler, good virtue signaler, good virtue signaler. What do you expect to happen? People's lives are going to be at risk like they are now. Animals, just innocent people, right? Because they don't want to hire the best candidates for the job. And so, yeah, now everybody is trying to cram out of LA. I'm surprised this hit the Hollywood Hills. Usually it doesn't reach up there. So I'm very, very surprised it's hit, it's gone that far. And yeah, these winds have been pretty strong. So I don't know. Hopefully we can get under control. But I'm not going to put much hope into our leaders, our elected leaders. Yeah, it just shocks me that people still vote these people in. And whenever you guys tell me like, why did you leave California? Or whenever somebody finds out I'm from California, they automatically assume I'm like some wokey, some liberal, and all that. And I always tell them, no, I'm a native of California. I was born and raised here. And pretty much all my friends and family that grew up here, none of us are like that, right? Most natives of California aren't on board with all that stuff. It's the people that moved to California that vote that way. And then they ruin it for the rest of us that have lived here all our lives. And I refuse to give up on my state. I refuse to leave, right? I just rather try to get these people out somehow. And if they just left it to people who are actually, legitimately born and raised in California to vote, we would definitely have a different system going on. Would it be like completely red and all that? No, I think we would have at least more of a balance and just more common sense politics. And we would elect our leaders based on their actual skills rather than skin color. Right. So anyway, if you live in LA, if you have anybody who is being affected by these wildfires, let me know in the comments below. And like I said, I'm in the valley, so it never really reaches us. However, when I saw people evacuating from the Hollywood Hills, which is right over the hill from Sherman Oaks, where I am, that's when I was a little concerned. And you know, sure enough, I mean, it's like a madhouse. People are just trying to get out of Hollywood, and so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But drop your comments below. I'll see you in the next one.